steer clear of those people. Because, you know, for good reason. They're frightening. Sometimes they become president. Not this time. Yeah. So I think it's just how I see people. I think you know, if I'm given a character to play who, let's say Aragorn seems, you know, fairly heroic most of the time. He does also have doubts. He has fears that he keeps to himself. But I think all characters have that. You know, I always look at what's on the other side of the coin with any character. And somewhere between those two sides of the coin is something that's private, you know. It's a good thing for an actor to have, to play a secret.
Good evening, Viggo. Most modern movies have exceptionally short cuts when they're edited. This movie had a lot of very long cuts, particularly that last scene. Would you like to talk about that really long cut, how difficult it was to film, and what it actually meant to you as a character, and why it was different to all of the rest of it?
Well, we had a very good cinematographer, Andrew Dunn, who you may know from, well, he's done a lot of big movies and a lot of independent movies. The Madness of King George, he shot that. He was very talented, and that was quite a challenging, long Steadicam shot. It's actually a Kiwi operator on that. Very good one, and amazing. Very, I don't know how many minutes that was, can't remember, but it's a very long shot. And sometimes, if technically, you know, the team isn't up to the level, you know, required, it can be very frustrating, because as an actor, you know, you can do the scene well, but you might have to do it many times because of technical glitches, you know, in such a long take. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't, well, you waste a lot of good performances by people. But fortunately, these guys were great. I mean, even the first and second take were right on as far as they were concerned, and I just had to kind of be up to their level. And we shot several takes just to have it, and different lighting and stuff like that as the scene moved. And it's almost uncut. He chose to choose one other angle, but it's mostly that long take. And I liked it. It felt good to me, because from the moment that I start walking, that I think, oh, again, I'm hearing this music, but it sounds like it's real. I don't know, is it real? Look at the guy. He doesn't give me a clue, and I start walking and seeing what I see as I walk. And going from this, again, a persona who finally is comfortable in this uniform, just suddenly going back to being someone who's not, and all that. There's a lot to think of, and it was nice to have that progression, to be able to build to that moment where I finally realized that there really are musicians and all that, rather than to do it in bits and pieces, you know. I liked the idea of that long take.
Thank you.
Hello, Viggo. Very good performance in this film. And while I have one question, I'd just like to ask you about a film you did 20 years ago that I think is one of your most brilliant performances, but only about 5 minutes, and that's Carlito's Way. Can you talk about acting with Al Pacino? And that scene, you actually go head-to-head with Al, and I think you actually steal it.
Don't say that to Al. He's a temper. No, he was very, I was nervous, you know, because if it works, great, but when you only have one sequence or one scene, you know, it's got to work. If it doesn't, it's not like when you're playing a lead role in a movie, some can be so-so, but on the whole, it can all hang together as a performance. And I felt like I needed to, you know, get it right. And he really put me at ease. He was very generous and very patient, and you know, he was helpful. I remember there was one take in that. I play, for those who haven't seen it, I play this Puerto Rican guy who probably came from Puerto Rico to New York to East Harlem, which is a Puerto Rican neighborhood, in the northeast part of Manhattan Island. And when I was 14 or 15, like a street kid who was kind of quick-witted and kind of a thief and all that, and he took me under his wing. You know, you don't see all of that, but that's sort of the backstory. But then I've had some bad luck and, you know, been shot and things have happened. I've ended up in a wheelchair, paraplegic, and I'm desperate for money, and, you know, I'm taking drugs, and I'm a mess, really. And I come to him because I want to ask him a favor, but I'm wearing a wire. You know, I'm going to record him for the cops. I'm doing it because I need the money. In fact, I was, you know, sent out. I'm in jail and I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm just not going to make it. So to get out of jail, I agreed to collaborate and to rat on Pacino's character, and he realizes that and gets upset about it. Put it mildly, but you know,
as only Al Pacino can.
Yeah, and he goes kind of crazy on me for a bit, and he's kicking my wheelchair and all kinds of stuff. But before that, I'm justifying. First I say, which is absurd, he discovers this microphone wire, and I say, no, it's not what you think. So what it was, you know, it's not real. It was just. You know, I wasn't even turned on. I say all kinds of ridiculous things, and it just goes more and more ballistic on me. And then I say, well, what do you expect? You know, when I finally sort of admit what I'm doing, I can't walk, I can't do all these, you know, he's being a good dancer, all this. I can't, I'm wearing diapers, you know, and I pull a diaper out of my, you know, little satchel and I throw it. Well, in this one take, I threw it and it hit, he has kind of a, you know, he has a kind of a, you know, he has a, it's not a big nose, but it's a good nose. You can throw something and it'll hang there. And it did. You know, this diaper in the middle of the diapers, and I throw it and it goes his beak, you know. And it doesn't fall off, and he keeps talking. And so I kept talking, and we finished the scene, and there's this sort of crescendo. It was clean, but nonetheless, it didn't look, it wasn't right in a way. And the director, you know, bless him, didn't cut, and, you know, I thought that was a sign of not only someone who has a good sense of humor about himself and is gracious, but, you know, in a weird way, kind of a trooper and a great example. I don't know. I guess he knew that would never be used, but he finished the scene with a diaper hanging off his nose. Commendable.
Thank you.
Good evening, Viggo, and congratulations on a really powerful performance in this film.
Thank you.
It brings to mind one of my favourite poems from your book, Recent Forgeries, the one called Show, where you talk about the apathy of audiences. Do you think that this film offers a perspective to audiences that will help them to break through that notion that you describe as a twirling inconsequence of evil in today's world?
I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of faith in audiences, and I don't like directors or producers or movie companies, whether in how they make the movie or how they market it, who talk down to audiences. I think it's always best to make your best possible movie, and don't think, well, I have to explain this, you know, to people. They're not going to get it. People are probably going to get it a lot faster than you figured out how to make it, generally. So, but while I have, you know, respect for audiences' intelligence, generally in life, my approach is to always expect the worst, because I'll inevitably be happily surprised. You know, I wake up every morning thinking, oh, what's it look out there? Well, the sun's shining, but for how long?